Hey, MJ here. Happy Thursday. It's Juneteenth, and today I'm going to pull a card from Unquiet. This is my deck that includes the journal, and in that journal you'll find 24 spreads that go with each of these cards. But for now, let's just pull a card and see what message comes through for this fine and actually really beautiful afternoon here. All right. I'm going to really just savor today because after today we hit a nice bit of stormy weather until next week. So, all right, let's dive in here. The doormat. I was just thinking about this card today. Oh yes, you know you're the doormat when you find yourself basically carrying everyone else's tasks. You know you're the doormat when you go into the office and people put their dirty cups in the sink as you're standing there and they expect you to wash them. Like they don't say, oh, here, let me get in and wash my mug for, before you get in there. No, they just put their dirty mug, like as you're standing in front of the sink, expecting you to wash it. You're the doormat when your spouse or friends or whoever dumps the kids on you and goes off, and leaves you with them without even asking if you had plans. And it's hard because the thing with being a doormat is that as women, we tend to accept it. We're like, oh, okay, I'll do that dish in the sink for you. Oh, okay, you want to go on a weekend with your friends and leave me with the kids? Sure, I didn't have plans anyway. It's this expectation. And unfortunately, what happens when you stand up and you said, whoa, no, you can clean your own dirty dish, thank you very much. All of a sudden, you're a bitch. You're disagreeable. You're not a team player, Or if it's the husband who leaves the kids with you and doesn't even ask, if you had plans, well, you're not living up to your role, as a mom. And so I feel with this card came about because I watched it with my own friends and I watched it with my own family, how people treat each other sometimes, and they just take things for granted. They just take it for granted that you're going to do something. And the moment you question it or the moment you stand up, all of a sudden the dynamic changes. When you're agreeing, you're like, oh yeah, sure, just throw that dish in the sink. All of a sudden they're like, hey, you're the best coworker ever. They're like, oh, you're great. It's really funny because they're like, well, if you didn't say that, again, you'd be disagreeable. And so anyway, with this card, think about the moments in your own life when it's expected of you to do something and you don't even get pat on the back half the time for it. It's just expected, and then if you do stand up and you say, no, I can't do that, I'm sorry, I can't take care of the kids tonight, you do it. You're part of the the parenting plan here too. You do it. All of a sudden you become disagreeable. You make someone else uncomfortable, and that can make us feel uneasy as well. So think about in your life where you've been expected to be the doormat, and then when you say no, how does that relationship change? How does the dynamic change? Did the dynamic change in your office when you decided not to be everyone's housekeeper or therapist? Did the dynamic change in your house when you decided to say, hey, we need to split the chores in the house or with your roommates? It's about owning your time and holding yourself equal to those around you and just as valuable. Your time is just as valuable as everyone else's, and recognizing that. And I know it's hard sometimes. As women, we are conditioned to make other people feel better. We are conditioned to serve. We're conditioned to not make other people feel uncomfortable or to speak up. But the contrary to that is that we then, we stifle our own voice. We stay quiet when we want to speak up. And then to too much of it, too much of being the doormat, all of a sudden resentment builds. And you can't hold that in forever. It's going to come out one way or another, and it's either going to cause a major rift in a relationship. It might cause you to lose your job. It might cause you to have a big blowout with your partner. So the message of doormat here is to recognize it when it's happening, nip it in the bud, create boundaries, and do it with confidence, knowing that you're not doing something to hurt other people. You're just asking for equality. You're just asking for your time to be respected as well. So anyway, much love, peace, and I'll talk with you later. Bye.